Thank you. This is April 11th, 2024. There's three of us right now, Kristen, and me,
Michael.
Why did I even forget that? I was going, Deborah sits here, and I'm out of it. We've lost one of our members, Deborah. She overcommitted, like many of us do. She knew how to say no, which was good. Thank you. Don't want two overcommitted people, then you get stressed out. We don't want people stressed out. So right now we don't have a quorum. So we have two cases right now with the tree removal and the beverage things. So we can have a short discussion of it, maybe, and give you our views of.
Mr. Chair, I think you probably make a decision on the tree removal request
Okay.
tonight, but you need a quorum to make a recommendation to Planning Commission for the Title 37 landscaping.
Right, okay. Well, okay, let's start with the disposition of minutes, which was like February, a long time ago. Does anybody have any questions? No. Okay. We can't vote down that either. That's okay. Okay, the tree removal. I went to the line that said Bradford pear, and I was like, right on, you know, because they're invasive, they're nasty, and they smell like dead fish.
Yep.
So, anybody else have opinions about Bradford pears?
Agreed.
Agreed. So.
Agreed.
Agreed.
They're
Thank
really
you.
nasty.
Oh, they're so nasty. So that's a yay
Okay.
from us.
I will follow up with the appellant on that.
Okay, great, thank you. It's probably a big old one too. They also
Yeah.
carry that nasty fire blight,
Yeah,
so.
yes, they do.
Yes, they're very nasty. So next to the title, landscaping title, we can't make a decision, but you can present and then we can give like a feeling of the commission. Does that make sense? So.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, do you want to start?
Yeah, this is a Title 41 landscape review for the Shade Tree Commission. Southeast Beverage, located on Kenny Road, has an addition they're putting on, which is great for the city. They are they're increasing the building, I think, 25,000 square feet. I can't remember this. About 25,000 square feet. So it kicks in our Title 41 site plan review, and they have a kind of an issue here because it is an M zone, it's an industrial area, and they really don't have a way to put all the required trees on this site. So let the appellant discuss some options.
Great, thank you. You're not the first one that's had this problem.
Do you have, do they have the other plans?
We sent that to you electronically,
Yes,
but
you did. That's
I don't know
fine.
if you got it. You guys
It's a
have
little
it.
hard to read. So.
It should be kind of easy.
Thank you.
You want me at the podium? Okay. So, the papers I just handed you, if you make sure that the text is on the top so we're all looking at the same direction. So our building is at the top. I'll start by saying this is my family's business. My dad bought the business in 1992, moved us here from Wisconsin, and then we bought Kerr Beverage in 2010. And so we've been at this site since 2010. But as you can see, the purpose of this first picture is just to show that it is an industrial complex. You can see very few trees on the inside of the complex, but you see all the trees to the right and kind of to the left. The next picture shows where the building will go, the red square. It is currently a concrete parking lot where we park all of our semi-trucks, so we won't have to remove any trees or grass for this. Trucks, we've gotten rid of some different equipment, so the trucks will still be able to park on the bottom right. They'll all fit there, and so we won't have to do any more pavement for truck parking. And then the last picture just shows those red lines are pretty steep hills. So the one at the top of on 56, that's a steep hill down with an electric utility easement. And then on the right side, same thing, hill up with an electrical easement. As you can see, the trees that were on the first picture, and now they're on this last picture, they're right on our property line, so whether those count or not, I'm assuming that they don't, but they could potentially count for us. We have figured out that we can plant 10, do you have the numbers in front of you, David?
Yes.
What
Yeah.
are the numbers of large?
Yeah,
and
10 large trees and 16 medium for a total of 26.
Of 26. And so, I guess ultimately the best thing that I would ask for is that we are going to plant the maximum trees on our lot. And I would ask that, I know that you have required companies to bank trees in the past, and I would just ask that as a local business, we have grown that business from 55 employees to 81 employees now. We spent $40,000 on painting a couple years ago. We spent $38,000 on landscaping. We continue to invest to beautify the property. And I guess I would just ask, the quote that I heard is that we would have to bank $22,000 worth of trees. And even if that is not until 10 years from now or 15, it's still an incremental cost to a small, relatively small business. And we'd rather invest that money in our property, you know, versus potentially somewhere else off site. So ultimately, we totally understand the great things that the Shade Tree Commission does, but I guess we're just asking for a variance that we'll plant as many that fit on our property, and you would ask that that would be sufficient, I guess, for the requirements. Based off, once again, not to reiterate, but being in an industrial park, and once again, that it is a concrete pad that we're just putting a roof on, essentially. So that's it. So.
You have comments?
No, we estimated that there was, and I don't know if you're, Austin, if your contractor or your engineer did the actual calculations. I estimated about 120 trees that were required, less the 26, plus any others that would go on there. So you're talking probably 90 some trees that would not be able to be planted based on the code, the strict interpretation of the code. So.
And I just went off those numbers, so
Yeah,
we didn't.
yeah, that was just a guess on my part. So,
Okay.
yeah.
No, seems pretty straightforward.
I know, like in manufacturing areas, that is a difficult area out there, and especially with electrical easements and everything else. I understand what you're specifically going through, especially with a lot of concrete and everything. That's something that's going to have to be, in the future, people are probably have to deal with even more. So I don't sense anything. Do you have questions or concerns?
No, I don't.
No.
Doesn't seem like there's much of an option.
Right, right. So, and CARE has been in our community for a very long time, so we appreciate, you putting money into it, and we understand. You're not a big corporation, with a lot of different buildings or anything, and so we do want to support local business. So I think that you could probably tell the Planning Commission that we didn't have any huge, giant, massive problems with it.
Okay.
Though if we come by with a request at one point for you guys to sponsor a tree or something, we'll be by.
Oh,
So,
for sure, yeah.
yes, so, okay, great. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so,
I don't want to
I
be
hear,
rude.
oh,
Sure.
yeah,
Thank you for your time.
okay. We don't have any maintenance of the tree canopy or anything. Let's see. New business. One of our members who's not here tonight went to the Sustainability Commission meeting last week, I think, week before, last week. He was going to give a presentation and discussion about it because they are doing a bunch of really cool things that we probably want to get involved with. And so maybe I will have him write up a little report to send out to us about that.
Makes sense.
And then what is the Shade Tree Commission up to? Well, I noticed that I'm the old veteran, and we have lots of new members. So basically, maybe a short little take on what we've been doing for maybe the past 6 months. Unless you were glued to each and every meeting on TV. Watch your timeline there. So something that we did from the summer that was interesting and a lot of fun. We had a student come in and look at the possibility of doing a citywide arboretum. And he did research, he found the place that we can join with citywide arboretums. And he put out all the things that we would have to do in order to do that. It would be a cost of probably $400 to get the tree emblems and develop some of the mapping and things like that. You have to have a certain number of native trees within your, 24 native trees that you have identified and tagged, just to start with. They can go on Morris. I think there's probably 24 native trees on that one. So I'd like to put forward that going on to the next part of this and spilling it out a bit more. I can, like I did last summer, hiring another student this summer or fall from this university. They have campus connections, which are work study students, and they go and work for community groups and stuff. And they do all the stuff. The school does all the paying and paperwork and everything. So that's something that is relatively easy right now, and it's kind of something that we can really start with. Do you have questions or anything about it?
No, I have a comment for you if you're interested.
Yeah.
We've done this before in other communities, and we tend to get a lot of positive feedback from local landscape companies and to volunteer or donate to that. So I think it would be something we should look into to look to some of our local landscaping companies to see if they'd like to participate in that program.
Right, and that's something that I would, like a student would be able to do. My last student, Zan, was really very capable, and they'll normally come from the planning department, so they love this sort of stuff. The planning geeks out there, which I'm one. So I will start looking at that with being able to hire on somebody. I'm not sure if it will be the summer or if it will be the fall. I'm also teaching the planning class, the land use planning class in geography. So maybe I can also do it as a project. So it's fun when you're a professor person. Okay, something else that we're up to, of course, is that we partner with the Athens Arbor Day Committee, and they right now are going forward with doing some April Athens Beautification Month planting over on Richland Avenue at the bus stops. As per the Athens Arbor Day Committee, we have a memorandum of understanding, MOU, with them, and they're kind of our people on the ground, sort of thing. They get people to help plant. They have planting days, and our thing was to help support them by buying trees and things like that. So I want to go forward. They're getting some trees. I want to put forward
I have
some
an
money
update
for
on
that.
that, Ms. Chair. We've had some communication with the committee, and they are going to be putting flags where they would like to plant the trees, and then we'll inspect those, make sure that there's no utilities in the way, and that should be happening really soon. So
Okay. Okay. That's right.
looking forward to it.
Right. We have a budget that the city council gives us. So going forward and paying for the 2 trees that I know that they bought seems like something that we can do. So I asked Patty how to spend money, and she was going to look into how specific. I can also just email Kathy too. So any problems with that?
Sounds
Okay.
great.
Okay. One of the other things that we've done is Arbor Day. I got an email that said our Arbor Day application for last year has been accepted and that we're Arbor Day, and they said they were sending us stuff. I haven't seen or heard of anything.
Those will generally go to the mayor's office,
Okay.
and we'll look for it
Okay.
for you.
So this was what, our however many year, 30 something, yeah, very long time. So then we will have to put onto the calendar to do the application again. The application is due by November 29th. We usually do our you have certain things that you do. One of them is a festivity, one is a mayor's proclamation, and some other things. That's usually done in October. I've been doing it in conjunction with the other plantings that have been going on out on the floodplain. So that's something else that will be in October, somewhere around there. Then there might be another planting in fall because of the neighborhood planting stuff that we've been doing a lot of, that Roxanne was doing. I've had several neighbors call about that, so we need to maybe think about how many trees we want to put towards that and stuff. So, I know that the Sustainability Commission had something along the lines of Leave the Leaves campaign that they want to do this year. That's from the Bee City USA program. So we will, I would like to co-sponsor that and help them out with that. So if they need help. And that's all I have. Do you have any cool things, eventsy sort of things that you've been thinking of?
I was trying to think of some different things. So one thing that kind of came to mind, and in the vein of talking about the Bradford Pears earlier, I don't know exactly what our abilities are, but I was thinking about maybe trying to organize sort of an outreach, just like day of going around and either doing an invasive ID of either street trees or, if volunteers have, front yards. There are plenty to go around, even just on a sidewalk. We could do a pretty in-depth discussion of a lot of the stuff that's around. And that was like the big one that kind of came to my mind.
Right. I've thought about having a plant this and not that garden someplace. I was thinking it would be really fun over at the community center, because the one tree you walk out and see when you walk out one of the doors is a humongous Bradford pear. And I'm like, that would be a perfect place to say, don't plant this. So.
Or when you come in off 33.
Yeah, all of them. Oh my goodness. And they're all blooming, so you could just see them all. Yes, the bane of many cities. So I think that what we're seeing is being able to do a few things that are already kind of on the calendar. Doing this arboretum, the citywide arboretum. I have some other people who are interested in helping with that. We're gonna have some kind of planting in the fall, so we need somebody kind of to take that on. And then we have these videos that we've been kind of putting together. And I was thinking that we should look at our website and see whether we can just stream them on there or just list videos. That would probably be the first step, being able to do that. So I'll work with whoever does the video, right, website. So, and spruce that up with some information. I'd like to get some information on how to take ivy out of your trees. That's a huge one. Ivy and
Winter creeper, Oriental bittersweet.
Yep. So that would be good.
All sorts of them.
Yeah, I know they do ivy bashes down out in Oregon. They get out because, oh my gosh, I mean, it's like kudzu. It's the Western equivalent of kudzu. I mean, it just takes over. It's just incredible. So that might be something. A friend of mine and I have been talking about doing some kind of like a citizens identification day of things that we can train people looking at trees and stuff like that, or kind of a one of those bio bashes where you go through and try to get everything. So I know somebody who does that she's interested. That would be in the fall, I would think. So that's my ideas. I know Jean had some. I think maybe what we want to do is email and try to put them on calendars and stuff, especially the Arbor Day stuff. That's the biggest thing. And then once we get that out, and then the idea of the community neighborhood planting and then we'll be able to put that on on it too, so. Any other questions? So, I think that I wanna look at like some of the videos that you had. I found 30 years of Arbor Day PSAs and commercials. Yeah, they're really entertaining, like Hootie Hoot Owl level. They're really cute. Oh my God. So I thought that would be fun around Arbor Day itself, is just putting them on and seeing how humorous some of them are, but we can talk about that later. So, any other questions? Okay, the next thing, old business, we didn't get the grant. That's easy. The Arbor Day, which is always old business, but new business, and that was, our application came. Have we ever heard anything about the Morris Avenue?
I have not got an update on that, so I'll
Yeah.
work on it.
Okay. Do you have any feedback from after cutting the tree from across from the cemetery?
Yeah, that was a project that the city was doing, and it was, I think they're part of the development of that street, caused that tree to need to be removed. It was a big project, if anybody saw it. It's a enormous old, it was a maple, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and it was doing a lot of damage to the sidewalk and stuff, but large stump there left over, and hopefully they'll be able to put some trees back with that project to replace those trees that are
Right.
that were needing to be removed.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people commented because it did leave this humongous stone. It's just the stump is huge.
The corner of Schaefer.
Corner of Schaefer and
Yeah.
Union, yes.
Yeah. So, and then we also had a teacher from one of the elementary schools write us and said that they really liked our website and that they used it for a research project. And I get in touch with them because they have some other ideas about what they can do with us. So that was very nice. It's so rare when people say yay. They'll go, what, where's that tree? And you'll go, sorry. And then when people say yay, it's just wonderful. So we appreciate it. So our next meeting, it will be in May. If I will be out of town, that's the only thing, so we can postpone it until June, unless we have some of the Title 41s or anything. We can.
Nothing else in the pipeline.
Okay. I think it's perfectly, meeting every other month is fine right now for this, it's not a super busy time sort of thing. Things are kind of set. A lot of it, like the Arbor Day, is very rote sort of thing too. Unless my travel plans change, I'll let you know. So if you know anybody who wants to be on the commission, let us know. So, okay. Anybody would like to talk? No. So, we can't even vote on adjourning. We'll sit here all night. Oh my gosh. So I just suggest that we shall adjourn in a good way, that we don't have to worry about not being in a quorum. So, thank you. Thank you for coming in. Good.